But I tell you truly, they are neither gods nor demons, but somewhere in between. They have a very high level of technology, but they are not perfect. They fell at Roswell, you see. And this happened in this manner. BRBians travel about the galaxy, and so do other aliens, by utilizing quantum windows, hyperspace tunnels, and stargates and such things. Seldom do they come out of a quantum window within the stratosphere of a given planet, lest they cause a time rift or something of this nature. So in this case, but sometimes it happens. When the ship materializes out of, say, a quantum window, at that moment, the hydrogen-fed fusion core is shaken. And the neurotronic computers are offline just for a split second. It is at that point, if you had the stuff, you could shoot it down. In that case, though, a lightning bolt from a thunderstorm hit it and exploded it over near Roswell. You see, there were 4 bodies. 2 were alive, 1 for 2 weeks. And fearing that he would attempt to uplink with his compatriots in the sky via a little black box on his belt, one of the soldiers hit him with a rifle butt and killed him, thus perhaps denying us true contact for millennia to come. Now, many people down through history have been contacted. I am not the only person, nor will I be the last who have ever had actual physiological social intercollusion with these extraterrestrial beings. They started, if you read your ancient scriptures, it will tell you in Genesis, 4 chapters, the 16th verse or something like that, that in those days there were giants in the lands, and the sons of God, meaning angels, looked upon the daughters of men and found them fair, and took of them wives, and their sons became of old great men of renown. Now it's highly unlikely that etheric angels are running around, getting babies by the earth's women. So this was their way of saying extraterrestrial beings. Thus they have been genetically mixing with us ever since before the coming of the ancient kingdom of Sumeria, which was fabricated, which was put there along with wheat, so that the hunter-gatherer people, the wanderers, would have a food source to form a homogeneous society. So that because they could not return home, there was a war, a skirmish with these reptiles above the skies of North Africa. The ships fell on the an island of land, some 100 nautical miles north of Tripoli, that fabled place you've come to call Atlantis. Now, once they had grown so old, over perhaps 8,000 years, and knowing they were going to die, not being able to return home or even to clone themselves at that time, they decided that they would genetically crossbreed with man and start the first dynasties upon the face of the planet. If you will read the chronology, the bibliography of the house of Adam, you'll find that many of the ancestors lived 600, 700, 800, 900 years. Now, I submit to you that because the rising of the Nile, the changing of the moon, those people were not fools. If they could build things like the pyramids, they know what a year was. So they actually lived a long time. And as they spread out on the land, and of course they had mixture with other indigenous people, the blood lineage was diluted, and of course bringing the age factor back down. But I tell you truly, even as I speak and look into your lovely eyes, some of you here, many of you here, still carry that trait, genetic trait, that would link you with the ancient Elohim, who were the Atlanteans and the BRBians and what have you. It is not so predominant now until it makes you be anything but, like neat. But at one time, it would have been a trait that would have kept you living for many centuries. And it can be done again. Should. There is a 92% probability that great, awesome, unmentionable cataclysms will begin to transpire upon this planet around 2011 and culminate in early 2012 and to what we may venture to think of as the Armageddon and things of this nature if we don't turn it around. There's only an 92% probability against not happening, 8% probability that we can stop it from happening. I tell you truly, I've taken some jobs down through the millennia in history. This is a biggie. So the mere fact that you've chosen to come here again in this time and spatial continuum means that apparently, like me, you have been chosen for some awesome destiny. You must fulfill this destiny. It may not be to be a spaceman lecturer, but you may, or your child may, bring forth the machines that will be based upon perhaps some of the principles of Nikola Tesla, who proved that you could take certain metallurgic composters and bend them in a certain configuration and draw electromagnetic current from the ether through etheric osmosis without the use of batteries and such, and things of this nature, and what have you. They built one out in White Sands and set it off, and it worked. Nonetheless, it was drawing so much power, they feared it would set up a vortex or something of this nature, and they had to blow it up because they could not control it. Some of the alien technology, just like some of our technology is based on theirs, some small amount of theirs is based upon the concept of man. Man is no slouch. Man can do these things. We have the inventions on the shelves and things of this nature to start turning this thing around, and what have you. I would have, about every 11 years, my friends, Tan and Nella, the Biabians, will come and get me wherever I am. It doesn't matter, because they don't have to implant things in your nose and stuff like this, because they have a very high level of technology. For instance, you, my darling, you have an etheric aura, or electromagnetic aura around yourself that is as distinct as is a fingerprint, and it can be registered on very sensitive machines. They can follow you throughout your lifetime, and with minor exceptions, always locate exactly where you are by your aura, by your vibration, and what have you. The only thing they've not yet been able to do to any high level of degree is to follow you, or follow me, or anyone else when they have reached physiological gestation cessation, or died, so to speak. They know that this vibration continues, but it tends to, as near as we can figure, to go into a pool of like harmonic spirits. For instance, each and every one of you now could sing a song, and if you were all in tune, you'd be singing at various different octaves of the same key. Nonetheless, you'd be in harmony. This is what happens when we shuffle off the old mortal coil. We go to like spirits, like water seeks its own level. We go to spirits who are like us. If we are good, we'll go to good spirits. If we are demonic, we'll be met by demons. So don't nobody get away with nothing. You see what I'm talking about. We have to, this is life, just school, we have to keep on trying to achieve something greater, and what have you, by consistently returning physiologically to this time in existence. Now, they cannot follow you and plot you in the world beyond. Nonetheless, when you are born again, you pop back up on the screen. Flip, see, oh, he back. As a baby somewhere. You see what I mean? I tell you this, and I've not told this to anyone publicly before. On the night I was born, when I left my mother's womb and I was hanging upside down, I knew everybody was standing around me. I said, not them again. And the lady, pap, hit me on the, I said, no, and I started hollering, and I remember that. Of course, I forgot it until for a long, long time before I remembered it again. There is no secrets in the cosmos. There's only unrealized realizations. You already know. I cannot tell you hardly anything here today that you do not already know. You just may not realize that you know it. You see what I mean? The truth must be felt as well as heard. The Biavians are from a planet called Biavi. It is in what we call the Taurus constellation, about 450 light years from Earth. Now they can traverse that distance in about 4.5 years as we measure time. This means that they have managed to overcome the light speed factor 100-fold. Einstein's theory of relativity equals mc squared. Electrons, neutrons. Reaching critical mass, thus thereby splitting the atom, causing nuclear fission. He believed that matter could not transcend the speed of light because of the force of resistance and things of this nature. This is essentially correct. You cannot take like a brick and throw it faster than light, but of course it would meet an immutable force that would stop it. Nonetheless, we do know that there are particles that travels much faster than light. You can achieve faster than light speed by jumping from near light natural to ion trajectory, then to tachyon uplink, then to muon interface, and the quark interface, the top quark uplink, and then at last to a kind of ectoplasmic, etheric, dark matter osmosis. Essentially what you're doing then is burning a miniature black hole in space. Contrary to popular belief, light does not travel on a linear path that's like this. It actually, depending upon the pull of certain gravitational bodies, quasars, neutron stars, carbon clouds, moons and things of this nature, it literally oscillates. If you want to get somewhere back in time, then don't follow the stream of light. You got to go across the bends. Across, to 1898, 2000 BC, 1 million BC. You're booking back. Once we came spinning out, barrel rolling out into the brilliance of some primordial yesterday, and he said, "Behold, the pterodactyl, the Tyrannus Rex." And over there, the velociraptors. I said, "Hey man, keep the batteries up, don't run out of gas." You can go back in time. And you are subject, once you materialize at that time, you are subject to the same strictures of that time. You get out of the ship, big lizard killer will eat you up if he catch you, and what have you. John Dillerton's bullets is just as dangerous now as they were then if you get off in that time span. Thus, utilizing time travel is used sparingly, and when it is always taken into consideration not to mess with destiny, simply because, for instance, one time, I told the alien Tan, while viewing the archives of the Holocaust, portions thereof, I say, "Hey man, if you give me like a modified M16 and pistol scope, I'll go back and take Hitler out in 1933, and we won't be bothered with this crap." And he said, "Friend Martin, think." He said, Rudolf Hess, Stryker, Goebbels, and many others were much more intellectual than this, what have you, and things of this nature. However, within certain strictures or certain rules, you can go back in time and communicate with people. You would not want to go back and kidnap Napoleon, because you would alter the continuum. But you could talk to one of his foot soldiers, and there would be some type of ripple in time, but not so noticeable. You understand? It is possible to travel easily back in time if you have the technology. You do not have to travel fast to enter a Stargate. All you have to do is match the vibration, and you're drawn in, you're booking. As fast as any particle matter therein, you are moving that fast when you're drawn in.